So, and that's very similar with Bayern, is that they have the structure here. So I'm going with 3-0.
Okay. I like the push for Bayern, and you feel as though that it's not going to be a close match. I don't know. I've seen some Champions League matches where some teams just weren't supposed to win, and they were able to get it done. One of
Yeah.
the teams we're going to talk about, who knew that they were going to be able to have these famous matches and be able to go through? So, one of our big matches to discuss: Arsenal versus Leverkusen.
Ooh.
This will be a very interesting match. Piero Hincapié, former player for Leverkusen on loan with Arsenal, is going to be able to play against Leverkusen in this match. So I right now Arsenal they went 8-0 in group stage play. Did not have to play in the round of 32 due to that. Uh, Teams in Europe give a little bit more space, and Arsenal does very well when having a lot more space. I like what our team can do when teams open up space against us. So I'll probably go. I'll go with 4-2. For some reason in Europe, just random scores do come in, but I think we can score 4 goals in Germany.
You think you score 4 goals against the German team?
Yes, I do.
Brave. Brave man. I say that, but Arsenal are top team in the Premier League, playing some beautiful football. So I'm gonna go with a 2-2 here.
Oh, that's a very tricky tie back at home. Okay.
That is, and I will be texting you when it is 2-2.
We'll see what happens there. Okay, okay, we'll see what happens. All right. Then the one of the two big matches of the week, PSG versus Chelsea. They met in the Club World Cup final this past summer, with Chelsea surprising everyone and stopping PSG from winning all of the titles last season. Chelsea, their team is currently ranked fourth or fifth within the Premier League right now.
Yeah,
PSG is currently ranked, I believe, second within league. Oh,
I think they
no,
might.
they're first. They're first, but they were able to get the win. They are only above Loans with 1 point at 57 to 56. So
Oh,
it's a
still
very tight within the domestic
very tight.
races right now. TC, I'll let you start. Who do you think is going to pull it out within this first fixture?
Look, Chelsea under the new coach have been playing some decent football. They've had some stagnant results. I think what he's trying to work out is who's his best team. I think what you have is a team that has the capabilities of playing well. So I think it's a great matchup. I think with PSG's, what you have is Vitinha's, Akima, Shimi. You've got great defense. You've got Doku, not Doku, sorry, Dewey,
Do it.
uh, Due, who's playing fantastically at the moment. So I think what you have is a team that is really going to hit Chelsea on the counter. Who's really sorry, not on the counter. Who's really going to be off from the front foot. They're going to have a lot of possession, a lot of technical players. So it's really going to be Chelsea playing on a low block and looking to hit them on the counter. I
Yeah.
think so. Two. Oh, this is going to be a 3-1 to PSG.
Interesting. That's actually my reverse. I'm going 3-1 for Chelsea. I watched the Monaco versus PSG match in the round of 16, in round of 32, and then I just watched the most recent Monaco versus PSG match where Monaco was able to win 3-1,
Yeah,
and both times their striker, the U.S. men's national team striker, Falarin Balogun, was able to run right. He was able to bring in other attackers into a attacking play by holding great hold up play. I think Chelsea is able to do that with João Pedro. João Pedro is on a run of form right now. He is playing some amazing football, and I think as we've seen in Champions League, teams throw their domestic form out the window, and they play very loose. PSG
Absolutely.
last year, they went on a Cinderella blitzkrieg of a run, just destroying everybody in their path to make it to the final and ultimately winning the Champions League. And one of those early matches that they had was against Liverpool last year when they were winning Liverpool won the league and they were able to shut them out both home and away. So
It
I'm not
means
seeing
nothing.
that from this. I'm not seeing that from this PSG team. I'm not liking their goalkeeper play, and I'm not liking their defense. How their defense is playing right now. Pacho, Marquinhos, Beraldo. I'm not liking what I'm seeing as defenders for them. They have a new defender, Zabarani. I'm not very acquainted with him, but he was a part of both matches in the Monaco match where Monaco was able to score 2 to 3 goals per match, and PSG just ultimately had more firepower. I like what Chelsea has on the wings with Reece James and Cucurella.
Yeah.
Their center defense can be very soft. I agree with you there. But they supposedly have a very world class midfield duo of Caicedo and Enzo, both 100 million pound players. Cole Palmer is the glue. We'll see what happens where he's going to be deployed. Their wings don't give a lot of love, but if you play through centrally, I think this PSG team can be got. So I'm thinking 3-1 for this first match.
It'll be interesting if they can do that. I think it's going to be one in the midfield.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if they're going to have, like you said, it's going to be about do they have an outlet for their Chelsea midfield to their wings? And then are they able to really do something with it? I think you're right. It's going to go through. It's going to have to be. Everyone's going to feel in the game tomorrow. But, okay, so we'll have exact opposite scores for that one. Interesting.
Yeah. Exact opposite scores.
I love it.
We'll see who comes through. We'll love to hear from our listeners. Who do you think is going to push through in this match?
Yeah. I mean, are you going to go with Eric's 3-1 or are you going to go with mine? Winner, whoever gets it close wins a prize.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. I've been closer on a lot of the hits, so we definitely got to see who wants to go with my predictions versus yours.
Eric, what scarf would you give to one of the viewers out there from your wall of scarves?
I don't know if I can give them from the wall of scarves. I have some other scarves that I haven't put up. We'll see what we can do.
Signed by a football player. Ooh, I do have some memorabilia we could give out as a as a prize. I have some signed stuff from the greatest left back that ever played for Manchester United. So I do have some stuff there. That'd be cool.
Yeah, terms and conditions are always different per country, so let's figure out first how we can give things out before we start to do some giveaways.
Yeah. But I think it'd be a great. I mean, I'd love to. Not everything because stuff is cool. I've got a shirt which you can't have, but I've got a post with his name, Dennis Owen and Dennis Owen. That'd be great. Think about that. The winner who gets the best closest gets to keep it, frame it in their living.
Yeah, definitely would love to see about that. Also, hit us up on our Discord if you want to start to be included in some of these giveaways. All right. Bodo Glimt versus Sporting. This is a very interesting matchup in my eyes. Sporting has gone on one of the most dazzling runs within the Champions League. So they were kind of just drawn for dead. They were drawn for dead. Had lost to Juventus 3-2. They drew against Dortmund. And then they shot to life at the end of January. Mind you, Bodo Glimt, their actual matches don't happen. Their season doesn't happen until summertime due to the actual temperature up there. And the Norwegian champions, they decide to dismantle Man City 3-1. Then they eked out a 2-1 win against Atletico. And then in the Champions League playoff, they absolutely demolished Inter. It was something nobody was expecting. They were able to win 5-2 on the aggregate. First match was 3-1 at home and then 2-1 away at San Siro. So I'm really liking their chances against Sporting to continue the run, continue the magic. I'll go with
I mean,
Bodo. I'll go with a Bodo Glimt 4-2.
okay. I'm going with 1-0 for Bodo Glimt. I just think that's a Cinderella story, and I think they might nick a goal, which I'd be really cool to see, and I think it's great for football. So, yeah, in the
I
words
think
of Donny Brasco,
I think we should think about a little bit more because right now it's hard for people to play on that artificial turf.
it's dangerous as well. Do you know you have a lot
Not
more
that
ACL?
dangerous.
Well,
Comparatively to US turf, that turf is actually very well taken care of.
oh, so is it the 4G pitches?
Yeah,
Mm.
not a fan of playing with that.
No, look, I like to play on them, but and I've just what I've heard from professional athletes is that they are maybe it's not the necessarily the 4Gs, but it's the artificial turfs. They are a lot more conducive from physios as well to it's the impact. Like a natural turf, when you put your foot in and you turn and stuff, often it gives way. It allows you to move into that. But with turf, it doesn't. So then it really is hard impact. So what my physio was saying is that those are actually a lot more conducive to ankle and ACLs and that kind of stuff.
Interesting.
Um, hey, that's just based on what my physio said. If anyone in the comments is telling me that my physio is lying, tell me now so I can get my money back. If I'm right, tell me so that I can get extra few sessions because it does make sense. I do understand. That's why we're turning all the pitches into grass for the World Cup, right? All the, you know, so there is something in there. Natural is often better. Everyone
No,
loves a good push.
no, I definitely feel that. Natural is always better, but
Yeah, it
their
is.
country, and especially their country at this time in Norway, like I'm sure it was freezing all the way up until a couple of days ago. So you
I
got to
mean,
do what you gotta do if you want to play football.
dude, if they don't have a pitch like the Santiago Bernabeu, where the freaking pitch lowers down into an underground chamber of heating and
Yeah,
controlled temperatures, which is why I think they should have that in freaking Norway. That's the one place they might need it. Not
yeah.
fucking, you know,
But
they're getting the
a lot of these teams cannot create a stadium that can do all of that. Like the
yeah, I
money
know,
that Real Madrid compared to
of
Bodo
course.
Glimt is very vast.
Listen, the money getting paid to a guy, just one guy from Norway, okay? He lives in Manchester. He gets paid $1 million a week. He can
Yeah,
make it happen.
if he really wanted to, but he's not chilling in Norway on uh, a normal March week. He's trying to get them back into getting into top space within the Premier League right now. So great segue,
Yes.
PC, to talk about our final and biggest match of the week. We have Real Madrid versus Man City. What is the how many times have they played now? It is like chapter 6, chapter 7. How many times have they played within the last 4 years?
Yeah, they play like every other season. I mean, it's becoming, but this is worthy of the final, right? This is kind of worthy of a final. Let's be serious. I mean, you would not be remiss to see this in a final. Um, it is kind of. Does it lose a bit of its glamour the more they play? Because that's what they want in the Super League, right? We want to see more of these. That's what they want in the Super League. They want more of these kind of matchups consistently, like less of the less teams and more of Real Madrid versus Man United versus Man City versus you know. So does it lose some of the glamour of the games because they play so many times in the Champions League?
I think it does, especially this version of it. Manchester City, the team is not as great as they previously were. Like I feel as though this is a reloading time for both squads. Uh, Kylian Mbappe had some very interesting news come out that his knee is not in the best. The ligaments aren't in the best position right now before the World Cup. He's going to play supposedly ahead of this match. He's just like, I'm going to play. Good chance if he messes up any of his ligaments anymore in his knee, it's a good chance that he misses the World Cup. But he's pushing for club and for club glory because you know how much this Champions League trophy means to him, as he's one of the few on that squad that has never gotten a chance to raise it. Man City, Holland is doing Holland things, except for it's very weird. He hasn't been scoring. He hasn't been scoring as free flowing as usual, but he's actually doing very well as a hold up play. His assist numbers within the Premier League have gone up way higher than you would have thought for a striker that only cared about scoring goals. So he's starting to develop different parts of his game.
Whoa. What do you mean only cares about scoring? He does not only care about scoring goals. That's unfair to him. He's not selfish like that at all.
No, but normally when you see a prolific striker, the first thing that you care about is how many goals that they have. The second thing is how much of they run, not how many assists that they have. So I'm giving Holland some praise here because he is giving a lot more chances to his teammates. Semenyo, ever since he's come around, ever since his transfer from Bournemouth, he's been scoring quite free-flowingly as well. He has about 8 or 9 goals that he's scored since joining Manchester City, which is a really amazing tally.
I saw the meme that was like Semenyo is like, since joining, he's basically become like Messi. Do you know what I mean? I saw that meme where like Semenyo at Man City, he's like Messi. You know what I mean? And to be fair to him, he's kicked on. It's almost as like with the blue, he's just been like leveled up. You know what I mean? It's just given him the platform and expression to just be, or maybe it's just the fact that you're in a team that now expects amazing or elevates your performances that you're doing already, which is why Man support you to be that much more elevated and so more direct. You might not be watching as many Bournemouth games, but like Man City games, you're like, damn, this dude, this ninja is really ninjaing around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's doing great. Yeah. City, I think, has been solidified with Mark Gahey. Having a chance to actually show it on the top level, similar to how other Crystal Palace buys have been playing within Europe. Eberici Eze has been playing well for Arsenal. You have Mikel Olise over for Bayern playing extremely well. Gahey finally is getting some shine in the Champions League, and you can see that he really fits. It's still crazy that City was only able to get him for 20 million compared to Liverpool's earlier buy in the earlier part of the year for 50 mil, but it is what it is.
I think what's crazy is that what you're seeing though is that there's a clear shift in buying players that are proven and tested and maybe harnessed and forged in the Premier League. Cunha, Mbuemo, Gay, Semenyo. These are players that don't have to wait to adapt. They've already adapted. They've played. They know about the conditions, about the ref, about the styles and things, and it helps them really adjust. And sometimes it is just a new environment that can really propel you. And this works for both ways. But what you're seeing though is you're seeing more of those players because the investment is so much more guaranteed to give back. So it's something to think about. I mean, if then the the Premier League, EPL, FA, whatever it's called, could look at strengthening the championship, right, the first division, you could really start to have like a competitive feeder system where we start just to look there for players, you know. The lower clubs will pay low prices and they will go to and buy untested players. That's how you get your Coutinhos and Suarez's and everyone else, you know what I mean?
True.
And I think that's part of it is that they go there and they develop, but they get the experience, they get the game time. It's important for the game time. I think And I'm sorry to go on this tangent, but it got me thinking, just looking at what you're talking about, those players that are doing so well. And I'll end on this. And game time, dog, game time for our young players. How else do we develop them at this stage? Jack Wilshere, these guys, all these players I was thinking about were getting game time,
Yeah.
except for Garnacho, that ass cunt. I think
Mhm.
with the Madrid City game, it's going to be interesting because Mbappe, to your point, said he won't be able to play. Maybe he said he might miss this game and play the return leg. But like you said, I think that's another debate for another day. It's the city versus club thing. I think he has to go for Champions League because, to be fair, you could sit out the whole freaking France team and they still have like a couple other strikers, and you can still come back for another game in the semi-final if you make that's in 3 months, babe. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know,
Very much. I mean, as long as he just keeps himself healthy enough where his leg doesn't fall off, I think he's good. Real Madrid, though, I fear have just bigger issues. Rodrigo, he's torn his ACL. He's out for the rest of the year. He's missing the World Cup. Their team just doesn't look balanced right now as a squad. They're still trying to figure out their way under Arbeloa, their manager who's taken over for Xabi Alonso, who's pushed out. But it is a very interesting space to say Real Madrid just doesn't have enough right now against this Manchester City side. It looks like a complete opposite. If you look at their team,
Jude is out as well, isn't he?
yeah, Real Madrid does not look like they are top side in the world right now.
They have a top keeper though. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah,
They
a great keeper will always
German
make
who's back,
everything
a
better.
crazy German who's back from injury. His name is Antonio Rudiger. That guy will kick his mother in the throat if he tries to touch the ball. Then you've got, I think, shame, I was looking at Modric yesterday, but in the midfield, that they've got, well, Valverde, they've been playing him on the right a lot of the time.
Well, Trent
I
is
think,
over fully on the right again, so Valverde is playing as a center mid on the right. Yep.
yeah. Um, they've got Mastronomy, whatever that dude is, Arda Güler there at as a 10. Um, good players, but inexperienced.
Yeah.
And you know what? The weight of the Madrid shirt is heavy, brother. Is heavy.
Yeah. I mean,
I
if you
think
look at this squad that Real Madrid just produced this past weekend in a win over Vigo in La Liga, you're going to be like, wait, why? So you have Courtois, of course. You have Trent Alexander-Arnold, Asensio and Rudiger as center back. You have Mendy, who's come back as a left back.
one of
You
the best left backs. To be fair, their defense at the moment is actually a lot of the three guys who just got back from injury, so that could help them.
No, very much so, but it's not something that I'm truly seeing. You have Valverde, amazing midfielder, and Tchouaméni. They started Pinar, a young kid. He's
Yeah,
taken off for Garcia. You have Artagula and Bram Diaz, who came back from Morocco, and Vinny over on the left. And if you look at that squad right now, do you really think that'll superly affect how Manchester City is going to play? Like, you always have to watch Vinny, but everyone else outside of Valverde, I'm not very scared of.
yeah.
If I'm a City fan. So. Normal matches against Real Madrid, you are more afraid. But right now, I'm just not seeing it.
You are not afraid, huh? Is that what you said?
If I'm a Manchester City fan, I would not be afraid of this Real Madrid team.
You would be an idiot. You would be an idiot. I would tell you that. That'd be saying, "Hey, that's a rattlesnake. I'm not afraid of it. Look at me. Look at me. Let it bite me." I think you might do not be fooled into thinking just because they don't have a lot of their star names that they won't be able to hurt you, as some people have found out. That being said, I think it just depends on how they turn up, and I think what I did mention the weight of the Madrid shirt, and I think that works two ways. One is that it can be a hindrance, and two, it can be a motivator. You know, so yeah. But like I said, they've just got Antonio Rudiger. I can't overestimate how good it feels to play with a good fucking solid back.
Yeah.
Mendy, Rudiger, okay,
Oh yeah, it's great.
Trent's like a leaky tap, okay. But at the moment in Spain, at Real Madrid, you usually don't have to do much in that sense. So, but
True.
he is decent enough, and so I think, yeah. Okay. So what is the score prediction?
I'm going with a 2-1 Manchester City victory for this first leg.
I'm doing the exact opposite.
Okay. All right. Would love to hear how our listeners feel about that, but that is our first round synopsis. Would love to see how things kind of turn out this week. Let us know in the chat, in the comments, how y'all feel. And then TC, to end us off today, want to discuss about the massive brawl that happened in Brazil, country that I love, during the match in the Campeonato Mineiro final in Brazil. The confrontation that happened in Belo Horizonte, which in deep stoppage time, it was the 95th of the 96th minute given. The Cruzeiro's 1-0 win over Atletico Mineiro. Uh, Atletico's goalkeeper Everson tackled Christian to the ground. Now, this is where it gets a little crazy. He then just kept jumping on him with his knees, his whole body, and just chatting it up. So, due to that, after he kept jumping on his body, it prompted like the craziest response I've ever seen. The goalie just gets pushed into the goal. His head hits the side. He drops the ball. Everything goes out, and then suddenly you just see everybody starting to make some swings. People jump out, and it
Yeah,
just gets a little insane.
a massive
Security had to
street.
jump in. Yeah, no, it was just violence everywhere. And you see Hulk, very very important Brazilian forward who's played all over the world, and
Has
he
married his niece.
he also ended up getting into some fisticuffs at the end, which was caught on TV for a little bit. But all in all, retrospectively, it was 23 red cards, 12 to Cruzeiro players, and Atletico had 11 players. Hulk, he said, it's regrettable. I've never seen violence like that in any football game. We cannot set the example because it ends up having repercussions all around the world. We have a responsibility to safeguard our image and the image of the institution. So, TC, give us your thoughts on it.
Yeah. Sometimes we just need to remember it's just a game. Ha ha. No, look. There seems to be the rhetoric that's been happening. That's not the only game that there seems to be a violence over the weekend. There was a bit of a violence in, I think, the Scottish Old Firm game as well.
Yep.
So I think, you know, I don't know if that's just a cosmos of what's the over the macro problems to what's happening in the world, and it's just a fever of people. But I think what it is also just over competitiveness, and what you're starting to see is people's emotions really boiling down. Especially in football, there's always been a lack of respect for the rule of law and for authority and the respect of your opponent. I say, it's very much diving, rolling, fake getting hit or hurt to earn the game. We understand it's in the spirit of winning, but I watched a rugby game and it was completely different. The
Yeah.
respect is completely different. It's more about this mutual love for your opponent and grateful for the competition.
No,
So
I agree there.
it's a shame in that sense. These things, we don't like to see violence in football. It's already a contact sport. And it really just shows kind of like, one, a lack of restraint from the team's management teams, and the players and the captains. You really have to look at the leadership teams of those teams to be like, yo, why don't you get your team in order? As you saw with the Senegal team, the people that got banned was the coach, and it was Sadio Mane who was getting people back on. So it's a leadership role that you have to play to get your team in order. That's what you have to do. So we as team players, even though your team is angry, you've got to pull the dudes apart. And you've got to really be like, hey, we're on TV, we're setting an example for kids and for that kind of thing, you know? And now this is what happens. You know what I mean? Now we're disgracing not only ourselves and our clubs, our families and our and everything else, but the Brazilian football, the face of Brazilian football, which already has certain negative connotations around that. So it's a bit of a shit one, especially in Belo Horizonte, which is a beautiful little town up there. So I think if you look at a number of incidents over the last few years, though, football is always, it's one of those sports that brings out the raw emotions of everyone, as any sport does. In fact, a lot of any sport does to the right people, right? So I'm not trying to condone that behavior. What I'm trying to say is that I think what you have to look at is severe penalties to really start to be a deterrent, so that yeah, go ahead and fight. You want to fight? You get to fight. I'll see you in 2 years' time. Very simple. Very, very simple. What you need to have is have very, very stringent and harsh penalties. That will solve this very quickly because football players know exactly how long their careers are. They don't want to be wasting time. They'd rather go punch a wall inside the house than go 2 years in it. So that's my suggestion.
Agreed. All right. Well, yeah. I want to thank everybody for giving us a listen today. TC, you ended it off very sweet, so appreciate you there.
They don't call me sweet for nothing, Eric. I look at your sweater. I look at your sweater, and I feel like that's what I look like if I was melted ice cream.
Just beige. Okay. Well, want to give you some props again for giving some time with us. Thank you all for giving us some watches. I definitely saw some things going off in the comments and chat. So appreciate all of y'all. It is Dem Boys Watch Footy. It's your boy E. It's your boy TC.